First and foremost, give all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, double honor to the elders Great Millstone, and salutation to all Yakim on the highways and byways, teaching his work sincerely and faithfully. I want to get into, Germany, Russia. This is going to be going into biblical prophecy because, everything is biblical prophecy. But this one right here is talking about, Germany are taking more cold showers as Russia doubles down on energy cuts. So since the sanctions, because the war with Ukraine, Russia's having, America sanctioned them, and now America's allies are suffering it. They're suffering at the sanctions because they're in NATO. In NATO, Germany is part of NATO, and they're allies with America. So so Russia said, if you sanction, if you don't lift the sanctions, they're gonna cut out. They're not gonna give you no energy. If you don't lift the sanctions, we're not gonna get no energy. Right? Talking to Germany, but I want to read the article now. They're gonna make Germany and all his Germany and all their other allies in NATO are gonna start realizing that America is just doing too much, right? Germany are taking more cold showers as Russia doubles down on energy cuts. So just imagine, you're a president or king or whatever of Germany, and now you came and take a hot shower. You're supposed to be on top, and now you're treated like a commoner. Now how's that gonna make you feel? You're freezing. It's almost winter too now. It's give it like a good 2 months, 3 months. December. Germany is a lot of them are gonna be taking cold showers in the middle of the winter. Why? Because of America sanctioning Russia. Germany's are cutting back on oil-filled modern luxuries in hopes that rationing today can help prevent blackouts down the line as bleak winter without Russian gas looms. See that? Look, Russia's cutting off its gas because of America and the sanctions, right? And now look at them. Now they're struggling. Germany's on life support. NATO, the B system. NATO's on life support. All of them, because they deal with Russia, right? For gas. Look at it, they're about to freeze during that winter. What's Joe Biden gonna do? What is Babylon gonna do about it? What do they gotta say? And I want to see Joe Biden's response since he's the one who put the sanctions on Russia. Man, everybody's gonna be looking at it in America like, yo, what do you, are you gonna lift the sanctions? They're gonna be freezing, no lights on. Some residents say they are taking cold showers, air drying their laundry, and switching to LED light bulbs to deal with the energy crisis spurred by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The local, a German news outlet, reported earlier in September, "We're not using our dryer, taking cooler, shorter showers, and plan to only heat 2 rooms in our house this winter." A 39-year-old Berlin resident said in a recent survey administered by the news outlet, out of all the European Union member states, Germany is the most dependent on Russian oil. So basically, Russia took out the one who needs them the most. Like, okay, the perilous position has prompted an energy conversation campaign spanning from individual up to federal levels. Because it's affecting everybody, even the higher ups in Germany. With one Berlin resident saying he takes cold showers as a small anti-Putin gesture. How are you mad with Putin when your allies sanctioned him and got involved with something that had nothing to do with it? Also, you saw these peons, man, are dumb. You're gonna get mad at somebody basically retaliating, or so someone hits you, and if I hit you back, you're mad. I don't understand why you did that. I didn't do it, but this is what happens when if you're a friend, you what's that word? You're guilty by association, right? You're allies with America, which is Russia's enemy, and now you're upset that you're getting sanctions on by them. That's your fault. Some German companies are also implementing energy restrictions as a cost-saving measure. Electricity prices in Germany have skyrocketed more than 600% this year as a result of soaring natural gas prices. Vonovia, a German real estate group, previously told Insider that it will lower tenants' heating during night between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. to save as much gas as possible and reduce heating costs by an estimated 8%. So he saw, look at them. They're struggling over there. Germany's, without is gonna be without heat for a while, and is winter's coming up. I don't know how cold it is over there in Germany, but it's gonna be cold. In Diplutzwalde, a city in Germany's Saxony region, tenants have been banned from taking hot showers between the hours of 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., 1 p.m. and 5 p.m., and after 9 p.m., according to a July Facebook post from a local housing cooperative in Hanover. Hot showers are no longer permitted at public pools. Prior to the war, over half of Germany's natural gas came from Russia. Now it's down to 35%. But officials fear extreme shortages may take place this winter if Russia cuts off its remaining oil supply to Europe in retaliation against Western sanctions. See, look, all of Europe is going to suffer. That includes Spain, that includes Germany, Britain, Portugal. I think that's, part of Europe. So Germany, these countries are gonna they're gonna be. See, look, it also says retaliation against Western sanctions. So whose fault is it? Peon Edomite that's mad, anti-Putin gesture. You get Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate, and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. These other nations America's allies are getting tired of, France is going to be affected. All of Europe is going to be affected by this. America probably indirectly, not as much as these other nations, but that's what's going to happen, And what is Joe Biden? What is Joe Biden's response? I want to see. Look at this. Look at this client. Look at this article. So, the U.S. can't solve Europe's energy crisis. Yes, yeah. You're getting nuked. You are getting. Someone's gonna be. You can't solve it, but you're causing it. Look at this. This is. Let me get another scripture. Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. They listened to America. Everybody praised America. Philosophy. It's my way or the highway. In other words, you'll get bombed, or I'm gonna put a dictator in front, kill your leader, then put a dictator. It's my way or you get bombed. Is earth drunken with the wine? The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. They listen to America. They listen to Joe Biden. They listen to all these presidents. They all thought this, thought they were words as smooth as butter. They spoke smooth things to its allies. Now look at them. Hey, if you just help me sanction Russia, this could help something. It's like, and if Europe knew that most of its resources came from Russia, I don't think you should have agreed with America. You should not have got on board. Let's not take part in this. But America is always leading the charge. All these other NATO nations, like the scriptures say, don't the whore that sat upon the beast, upon the dragon, is Babylon. Because who's the head of NATO? Ultimately, it's America. The U.S. can't solve European energy crisis. Europe has entered the most treacherous terrain in its bid to move away from Russian energy, and the U.S. can only provide limited help, at least for now. The West's response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine has systemic. Okay, I'm not gonna upended the global energy trade at pace and scale unseen in decades. The stakes for Europe couldn't be higher. Consumers facing soaring costs and energy hungry. European industries are already in distress and cutting output. Driving as President Biden pledged that the U.S. would send more natural gas to the EU in a bid to help Western allies wean themselves off Russian supplies. Bro, this country's on life support too. Babylon, you know what is inner wars, race wars, crime rate, no police, food shortages, and the gas went up. The gas went up for America too. I think it's going down by a little, but all in all, you are stretching. You're helping too much. You know, like Joe Biden is just the military's too thin. We're in a recession. Basically we're in a recession. But Esau, he's still giving money to Ukraine. Now he's giving out gas to. You might as well just turn this into America is nothing more than a damn homeless shelter. I don't know what to call it at this point. It's like a shelter. This is like a charity event. It's just giving out everything's free. Ukraine, Europe, you know. What else? All these other countries. Gas. And it has but the two regions face physical constraints but put a ceiling on how much near-term supplies can keep growing. The US is basically using all of its available capacity to liquefy natural gas. A process necessary to ship gas overseas, and Europe has limited infrastructure to actually accept the imports. Where it stands, before the invasion of Ukraine, Russia provided roughly 40% of EU gas supplies. It has fallen greatly already in tight markets, and geopolitical risks have sent prices soaring. Earlier this year, the US and EU announced agreement for additional supplies this year and a major rise through 2030. The near-term target seems fairly easily achievable, in no small part because the U.S. shifted much of its Asian exports over to European customers. But that might not work again this year. We go down. Yeah. I'm gonna go read this. What's next? U.S. energy ministers will gather Friday to discuss emergency measures to shield residents and industries from sky-high power and gas costs. The crisis already prompting European nations to unveil major aid packages to support consumers, including Germany, 65 billion plan announced over the weekend. So I guess the energy bill is gonna go up. Gas bills going up because of the sanctions. You know, it's over for for these other nations. You know, the NATO, the beast, right? The 10-headed dragon is gonna, it's gonna start. They're gonna start looking at America like, you got us freezing out here during the winter. You can hardly help. You're just causing more problems than you are good. You know, they're gonna start looking at America sideways, and it's gonna be interesting how they're gonna respond to this. A lot of EU nations are affected by this. They said 40%. A lot of it is mostly came from Russia, and now that America's getting involved with Russian sanctions and all that, they're gonna sanctioning their allies, America's allies. But ultimately, this is what's gonna happen to America, right? These other nations ain't playing. Not only that, but they're giving money. I forgot Taiwan. Yeah, Taiwan. Billions of dollars to Taiwan, billions of dollars to Ukraine, free gas to Europe. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Joe Biden? What do you? You know, like America's on life support. It's like what's that the commercial with the old lady with the old people. I'm falling, I can't get up. That's America. America's on crutches. America's in a wheelchair. America's in a recession. America's in shortages of workers. Layoffs are happening. People are in debt. People are homeless. People are about to get evicted. I heard a lot of people are facing eviction real soon. So all of this is happening. Joe Biden thought it was a good idea to start to sanction Russia. Give money to Ukraine. Give money to see. This is it. This is all going in the scriptures that this this Esau's rulership is falling. You know, what kind of it has to be a spiritual thing, because what kind of man sees his country? He's oblivious to his whole country falling apart, eating an ice cream cone, talking about Joe, Ukraine is getting another billion. Like Ukraine's been getting billions of dollars. You know what? You know what's interesting that Taiwan and Ukraine is getting money. Mississippi has no running water. Oh man, just don't drink the water. Like what? You know? See, like, yo, man, their priorities, man. Esau, the elites are not on the same page. And it's short and noticeable. Germany's taking the brunt of mostly everything because of what America did. You know, Flocky. I'm gonna get Jeremiah 50:14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All you that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord. So a lot of these nations in the EU are gonna actually start shooting missiles over here. You know, they're losing out on energy. They're about to lose out on food probably. I wouldn't be surprised if they can't manufacture any. There's a lot happening. You know, these countries. Germany is gonna blame America. Britain's gonna blame America. France is gonna blame America. Spain, all these Edomite nations in Europe are gonna look at Esau like, not Esau, but look at Babylon like, yeah, you're done. They'll shoot at her. I think Turkey's already joined allies with Russia. I don't know, man. Turkeys are like on the fence, and Turkey's part of NATO, but at the same time, they're talking with Russia, so it's like, but that's going to biblical prophecy. That the beast shall hate the whore and blast her with fire. And with that, hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders, great millstone, and salutations to all Yakim on the highways and byways. Till next time, I say Shalom.